And good afternoon, folks. This is H0 here with another TV review. This is Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 2. I'm going to try to make this semi-short and quick as possible because I got a lot of stuff to do. So, for starters, I like the fact that they put Kung Lao and Liu Kang, on screen together versus the past, iterations, the movies not really doing it. Even the actors who they got Brian T that plays Liu Kang, and I can't remember the dude that played Kung Lao, but he was in Double Dragon as Billy, I believe. He has some martial arts background, and they recast the original dude that played. No, it was the same dude that played Shang Tsung. Well, kind of a recast from the original movie. His name was Cary-Hiroyuki or something. Yeah, I could be mispronouncing his name, but he's a known good actor. In Mortal Kombat was the first movie I seen him in. I started seeing him in other stuff. But it was kind of funny how he reappeared again, and he's just as sinister from '95 and playing it to now, and they still had the same guy that played Scorpion in the last Legacy, and pretty much everybody else was recast from Stryker, from Johnny Cage, but and Melina and Katana, I think they kept them two the same. But let's get to the whole plot of the thing. It really boils down to the tournament, and the gruesome fighting is all there. One new character they introduced from the games that they have on screen was Kenshi. He's also one of my favorites. I love samurais, so it was nice to see him there. More of the characters, Ermac, you know, bit by bit they're putting the new character iterations in there, even though there's some slight changes. Again, the fighting was really good. The fatalities and gore were on point. Even when I first saw it, and even Ed Boon, who had stated he was on a plane and he saw the Katana episode, and it was that fatality where she cuts off your head, and with Melina, it's like it decapitated her from like the upper jaw up, and then even he was like, oh, he was so shocked, and even I said the same thing when I first watched it because the action scene was so great, it literally just came out of nowhere. It was it's a good example of a good quick cut edit of what they did, and who else? The in-depth story between Johnny Cage, not Johnny Cage, uh, Scorpion and Sub Zero. It made it a little bit more heartbreaking. Like I knew it was more depth they could have went with it, but of course they're on a slight budget. But uh, they went deeper back into their origin before what Legacy One had did, and they actually were friends when they were kids, and because of their clans, they were divided, and it just put more messed up innuendos are coming in the future. It's kind of like that classic Romeo and Juliet. The Montagues and the Capulets, they're fighting. The Bloods and Crips, whatever faction you want to compare it to, and you always have two people who don't see eye to eye. And personally, I've seen it. It didn't happen to me personally, but I remember in high school, you know, it was one of my girlfriends at the time and one of our other mutual friends. They really weren't supposed to get along because their parents were fighting, but they weren't like that, and that was kind of a funny thing. And even with all the people who are new from different ethnicities, the same thing. I had a Latina girlfriend and a Latino friend and another black friend, and he was saying I ain't supposed to be talking with him, but he's cool. It's no he pretty much only saying he saw me as a person before this stupid gang set shit that had happened. So it's kind of funny how art imitates life and back and forth, and it's kind of funny because everyone in the games know how much bitter enemies that Scorpion and Sub Zero were, and you see this origin story that digs deeper in their childhood, and come to find out they knew each other from way back then, and they always weren't enemies. It was really their families that divided them into being that way. So that was one of the good drama piece they put in there. Also, Liu Kang becoming a bad guy, and a good reason why he became a bad guy. Apparently, at this point in the story, the first Mortal Kombat tournament already happened. Liu Kang already was known as the indefinite hero, and then the change from what the game had did, he stayed with the White Lotus, but on here he decided to live an ordinary life, and he was about to get married, and then his wife his fiance gets killed. It strides him into darkness. Shang Tsung plays with his emotions, and he it was a weird change, but at least they gave a good reason why he became a bad guy. Vengeance is always a good ideal, but the actor did such a good job, and he really didn't force it out. And they did do a couple of scenes of him, of being a good guy, but we didn't see him fight in the tournament. I would have stood a little bit much more stronger if it would have been. But me as a writer, I was able to you know plug in the gaps of him being a good guy, and he also playing the games and knowing how much of a good guy he was. But as a spoiler alert, if you play MKX, he's the bad guy on there. But again, it's for a different reason. His soul has been corrupted, and at the end of the game, he still is a bad guy. Him and Katana. That was a nice little flip. But that's pretty much my review. Again, the action is really good. It just sucks that they were planning to do a season 3, but they were planning to introduce, I think, Goro and Cabal, and it was another character that dealt with a lot of special effects, and they didn't have the money to do it. So, they talked about it for a good 2 years, but ever since then, we haven't seen anything. The good thing is that if they do decide to go back to making, Mortal Kombat, film series or movies, they at least have an approach to start with. Like, they don't have to go in raw and naked and deal with the campiness of what the 95 film was. So hopefully, if it does get rebooted again, hopefully they'll do pretty much what I suggested. It'll be focused on, the first tournament. And then, but before we get there, it's pretty much like what I said with Marvel in Phase 1. You introduce every single character and backstory, and then your Avengers piece will be the Mortal Kombat tournament where everybody is there. So, yeah, hopefully they do it right. I could possibly pitch the first movie right now. It's dealing with Katana, Adenia, Sindel, and Outworld, and how you know they're at war with Outworld and Shao Kahn, and how they eventually lose, and how it's filling in pretty much the gaps after a while of the whole corrupted realm. That's the first movie right there, since they lost 10 consecutive tournaments and they got overrun. So it could be that story right there. Um, Other than that, that's my review and slash opinion, and see you guys in Mortal Kombat Conquest. Talk to you guys later. Peace.